Good afternoon and welcome to Omnibros Live. I'm Omnidog from Omnidog's Vault, joined as always with Gabe Infinity Watch. Gabe, how's it going, buddy?
I'm doing good, bud. How you been? How was your weekend?
Good. Why am I not hearing you through my headphones?
I don't know.
I'm hearing you through my
Through the computer?
Yeah, that's weird.
Check your settings for the Hangout.
Oh, you know what? That's exactly what it is, because I had the yeah. You're exactly right. Logitech. Okay. There.
Perfect.
There we go. Thank you.
All right. Solved that problem.
Yeah, way to go, IT guy.
That's right.
So we are the OmniBros. We're here with news and opinions on a Sunday, and we should be joined here soon by Comics Guide 101. We will see. We will go ahead and start the show without him, but we'll start with InStockTrades.com, right, Gabe? Our fabulous sponsor.
Our favorite, best, amazing, great sponsor.
You said it. InStockTrades.com, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Every quarter, there's an Omnibros Live code that gets you extra percentages off. Over $50 in the United States gets you free shipping. Fabulous service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. And here he is. There's
Perfect. Just in time, man. What up, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
I was worried DC canceled your internet on you or something.
No. No, Rorschach be praised. I'm still here.
I missed that. I got to go back and watch that episode and see the whole Rorschach
situation. It's like the last 5 minutes, isn't it, Lou?
The timing
10 minutes,
like 53, 52.
Go back and watch that episode and see the whole Rorschach.
It's like the last 5 minutes, isn't it, Lou? Whoop, that's not me.
There we go. Hello?
Yep.
Okay, that's better.
Perfect.
Yeah, I think it's what did you say where it is in the like at the 53-minute mark or something?
It's in the 50-minute mark, somewhere around there. I gave you guys the timestamp last time.
Yeah.
Dude, I think it's taken off more than the Lane Wayne thing, because people have made drawings and have done Photoshops.
Oh,
Wait, really?
The pop. There was a pop in the group that was a Rorschach.
You're kidding. I haven't seen any of this.
Oh my gosh, that was so funny. I can't remember who did it now, but in the group, yeah, that it said it was some shark and from some TV show or something, and it said they taped on Watchmen and then just put in Rorschach down here.
You guys are ruthless.
Really funny.
Well, I mean,
really
come on,
funny.
man. Omar, like, did he not watch the movie to hear how it was pronounced? I don't know. Whatever. That's good old Omar for us.
No, we'll get to this. Watchmen came out like 30 years ago. So Omar's been reading comics for a lot. So this whole time, okay.
He's been saying it Rorschach.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's corrected him.
and we almost didn't.
No, we almost didn't.
You guys should just left it alone, let it be a thing, and then I'm sure the chat got on them.
No, I was gonna let it slide. I was completely happy to let it slide, and I was laughing in my head like he's fucking with us, right? Like he's doing this on purpose. And just his face when he heard it was priceless.
I'm going back to watch that later. I need to watch that whole episode. That episode sounded like it was good. I just haven't gotten around to it.
I just found the drawing.
Oh, the drawing's funny too.
The street shark, Rorschach. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
These are great. I'm printing and framing this.
Oh,
Who did the drawing?
The pop is really funny.
Oh,
with the Watchmen taped over it.
The fan art in this is great. Gabe, Gabe, what is that cartoon again?
Jabberjaw?
Jabberjaw. Yeah. Oh, that is beautiful. I want a frame of that.
Who did the drawing to shout that guy out real quick?
Parker Lukenbach. I think that's how you say it.
So shout out to that guy.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Great
Parker.
job, thank you so much.
Actually, yeah, let's. We should find the. You should check for the pop. That pop was really. Actually, I could find it really quick because.
Somebody did a pop?
Sorry.
Somebody did a pop.
Yeah. Well, they taped over the. They taped over the. Oh, Darren Becker did the pop. Let's see. Yeah, Jabberjaw. He just taped over Watchmen. Do you want me to send you the link?
Yeah, please.
Okay, just a sec. Save post.
Well, I think I could do the mirror thing, right? So people that don't have the Facebook group can actually see what we're. Hold on.
Oh, you got a little gecko
yeah,
one,
just a sec. Yeah, let me send it to you. I'll send it to you in the chat.
I think Omar should, not Omar, I'm sorry, Luis. I think you should name your little lizard friend there. You got to change his name to Rorschach.
She's horrible at climbing. She's missing most of her the tips of her toes, so she can't climb too well.
Here is found this pretty rare pop, is what it says from Darren Becker. Yeah.
There we go. That's great.
I just laughed out loud totally at that.
Oh my God, 2019 is gonna be great. We've already gotten so many good gems.
Is anybody going to screen share that?
Hold on, yeah, just give me a second. Here we go. Screen share, right?
I want to see it. Yeah. Yep, the little arrow inside the screen.
Desktop or Google Hangout is the one that I click on. Google Hangout, right?
Sure.
It's just the green arrow thing up on the left.
Okay. Can you guys see it?
Yeah, there it is. Watchmen, Rorschach. They should be able to see that.
And there's the drawing.
And there's the drawing of a Rorschach. And then Patrick says, this is the Finding Nemo of shark-based street heroes. The little Nemo.
I want a t-shirt. Is that it? I'm done.
Yeah, good job. Right. And we have a new member of the Near Mint Condition crew, Kristan Robertson, in the group.
Hey, Kristan.
Has she officially been jumped in?
No, jumped in. No, she kept getting named as one of the co-hosts for Near Mint Condition, and so I'm just gently teasing her. Sunday chum with Raw Shark Bros.
Sunday chum, nice. All right, so
she says she's a proud member of Near Mint Condition there.
Nice.
So we have our opinions, and we also have some news. This particular news pretty much dominated the week, I think, in our little corner of the comic world. Lots of people concerned about it, looking for answers, trying to figure things out, speculation. And that is that DC has done pretty collected editions department took a hit.
Yeah. A bad one too.
And yeah, they took a pretty big hit, and we're everything's in a state of flux sort of now, because we're not sure, and when I say we, I mean kind of the comic community, comic fans aren't sure what's going to get released from DC and what's not. Have things been getting canceled, Gabe?
Yeah, there's been a lot. Speaking of influx, there's been an influx of items being canceled. Just recently, which is what really kind of sparked all of this, is the Batman Hush Omnibus got canceled. That was sometime last week. And then this week, we got hit with the cancellation of the Burnside Batgirl Omnibus and the reprint of the Dark Knight Returns Absolute.
So those canceled and not resolicited.
Yep, or at least not anytime soon. Not yet. We'll see what happens. But of course, that's part of the speculation. Is people want to know: do we think it's going to get resolicited? Do we think we're going to see them later, or whatever the case might be?
So, what do you think is happening? You think they're downsizing the department?
Ryley had some really good thoughts yesterday, I thought. Let me see if I can pull him up, because I think he went to it better than I did. When he was talking about, let me see if I can pull it up. Okay. So yeah, you can see that the number drastically increased over the past few years of what DC has put out in collected editions, specifically those Golden Age Omnis that we've seen so many of, and Brave and Bold and Suicide Squad, Adam Strange, things like that. A lot of classic Silver Age Doom Patrol, classic Silver Age Doom Patrol. A lot of those things got pushed out. I don't think, and this is Ryley saying, I don't think they made the kind of return they expected at all. Omar said it cost them a lot of money to do restoration on those Golden Age books too. And Ryley said, yep, and I did cite that the more recent ones went up in price. There isn't enough audience for them. So while they appealed to people like me that likes the older stuff, perhaps they misjudged the number of books they could sell.
Yeah. Because one of the earlier cancellations that we got, they've been canceling a lot of stuff lately, but it just seems that, most recently, as we've seen like the bigger hits, they solicited that DC or the Detective Comics, like slipcase, Absolute. I think it was like a slipcase. That was all the pre-Batman stuff from Detective Comics. So Detective Comics 1 through 26. And that was kind of a head scratcher that they even thought to put something out like that. But it kind of made sense when you thought about how they're putting out all the Golden Age stuff and all the Silver Age books. But then that got canceled not too long ago also. So yeah, I'm in the same boat. I agree with Ryley and I agree with Omar that it does seem like DC is cutting back a lot because they put out too much last year. There was a lot of DC omnibuses that came out, especially towards the end of last year, that I don't know. I don't think anybody really actually wanted or asked for. You got stuff like that Red Hood and the Outlaws omnibus.
Yeah, who created that? Like what? It's just there's a few choices here from last year where I'm like, why? Like you're gonna take a hit on this sales wise. Yeah. It's obvious you will.
Yeah, that Red Hood didn't make sense. The
Wildcats Absolute.
Deathstroke.
Yeah, Deathstroke.
Wildcats Absolute, except for Gabe and Omar.
Hey,
no, that took off. That took off after you posted pictures of it, though.
Yeah, that was one that a lot of people kind of got super baited on. They reprinted. It hasn't come out yet, but it hasn't been canceled. So I think it's coming out pretty soon. They reprinted the Grayson omnibus.
Why?
Who knows? That's the question here. That's really kind of what seems to be speculation wise with us. Our idea of why something like this happened, that so much stuff got canceled, because so much stuff got put out that nobody was asking for. That's like not only just the Golden Age stuff, but just these other books, like again, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Grayson, Deathstroke, Batman Eternal. Like, who cares about those books?
Yeah.
When there's other books out there that people would rather have
that are not getting printed.
Yeah, we still haven't seen a new 52 Capullo Snyder omnibus, or even a second Absolute, or anything like that. That's
crazy to me that we see Red Hood and the Outlaws that nobody's asking for, and Snyder and Capullo's isn't in any kind of oversized hardcover at all.
Or hell, even go back, like the classic Hitman stuff from Garth Ennis. Why haven't we seen a collected edition of that yet?
Right. I mean, we got the 2 Absolutes. Here's another good example. We got the 2 Absolutes of Azzarello's Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got an omnibus coming out as well. So that weird kind of double dip that happened like immediately after the second one was released practically is another thing that is just digging a hole.
There doesn't seem to be any cohesive strategy, right?
Right. I mean, I'll even go back and say even that the Jeff Loeb, Tim Sale Batman omnibus wasn't really necessary because the Absolutes were out there. Just reprint Dark Victory.
Yeah, and the thing, okay, the Grayson omnibus I can kind of see because it's got Tom King's name on it, and Tom King's a hot name right now. But it wasn't even a run that was really celebrated or liked by too many people. That was Tom King when he was first breaking in heavily into who he is today.
Tom King was also just kind of like the backup writer. That was mainly Tim Seeley. Tim.
Was Tim Seeley's baby for a while.
Yeah, exactly.
It was okay. It wasn't a bad run. I enjoyed it.
I mean, we've seen the Grayson.
Reading it right now.
I mean, we saw another thing that kind of hurt me and Omar. The Impulse omnibus got canceled, and that got kind of downgraded into just trade paperbacks.
Mm-hmm.
The third Ron Mars Green Lantern, the Kyle Rayner trade paperback, that got canceled. So there's been a lot of just cancellations, not just the omnibuses, but that just seems to be the bigger ticket because there was, I guess, some interest, especially since they're canceling Batman related stuff, which is really weird. You know, Batman's their biggest seller.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been going back and forth. But again, yeah, we've been getting stuff that is very much a pass, or I'll wait till it gets discounted. Not a lot of day one stuff. Not a lot of day one. I have to buy books that have been coming out from DC. But instead, we're getting things that were double dipping. The Azzarello omnibus, we didn't need that to come out. No one's asking for a Batman Eternal omnibus.
And then there was the weird I'm not sure if there's any strategy there. They release the first part of Jeff Johns' Justice League in an absolute, don't collect the middle section, and then the Dark Side War gets an omnibus. Absolute, nothing, omnibus.
Do you think throwing stuff at the wall and seeing, well, maybe something will stick, or because I mean, outside of you, Jess, nobody's gonna buy that Red Hood and the Outlaws omnibus. Favorite run of 2012, I think, is what you said.
How dare you suggest that I was going to buy that? And it's just mind-boggling to me that we're not getting any kind of thing that looks like there's a strategy involved, especially with Justice League, where you could, worst case, you could put out a bunch of oversized hardcovers and make them all oversized hardcovers, or you could make them all absolutes or all omnibus, but at least go approach it from a collector's mentality, where collectors tend to want things in the same format for the same run. And Gabe had a really good point with the absolutes on Wonder Woman and then putting an omnibus out. I get it from a price point, but you've already got absolutes out there. I'm not sure why you'd put out an omnibus of it and leave. Well, we always say Snyder's Batman, but there's a ton of Superman and Batman that hasn't been collected in any kind of form. at all. Byrne's Man of Steel is just one example. And then you get something weird like the Francis Manipool Flash Omnibus. I don't remember asking for that. A lot of weird
stuff coming out of the new 52. I mean, as much as I absolutely love this book, and I know we're going to have a discussion on it later, but the first Rebirth Omnibus to come out is Super Sons.
Mm-hmm.
Which, again, I love that book. That's one of my favorite books I think I bought last year. But it's just extremely random. Like, there was really... They could have just waited a little bit longer, because right now there's that Adventures of Super Sons book coming out. I think it's on like issue 8. You could have waited and then made an omnibus that included that as well. But again, going back on the Azzarello Wonder Woman, I don't know who they think is going to buy that, because you just had the Absolute. Anybody who wanted that storyline in an archival premium format would have bought the Absolute. I prefer the Absolute, so I would not get that omnibus because the Absolutes are out there.
And that art is just oh my god, that art is fantastic in the Absolute format.
We didn't get there's a Detective Comics New 52 omnibus that was recently announced, the Tony Daniels stuff. Hopefully that doesn't get canceled. We'll have to see, because I don't think... I'm trying to think, because I think these things have all been canceled around the time that the final order cutoffs for retailers happened. Because I know Burnside Batgirl was on the FOC, I'm going to say a week or two ago. And I ordered a few of them because all the guys that work in the store with me wanted a copy. So I think I ordered at least 5. But then that's right after that FOC, I think that's when they got cut. I think based on just that assumption, that's where they're being cut. That's why maybe the FOC numbers are not coming in where they need them to be.
Well, bottom line, get out of the New 52. You don't need to reprint shit from the New 52, because the New 52 for the most part wasn't that great. Like, a lot of their stories started strong and then fell off. You got a few gems in there, like the Azzarello Wonder Woman, Snyder's Batman's the obvious choice.
Lantern.
Maybe
Aquaman came out at the very end.
Aquaman came out really good with at the end stuff. Maybe some of the early Jeff Johns, Jim Lee, Justice League stuff, just because it's Jeff Johns and Jim Lee. But other than that, you could dump the entire New 52. You don't need to reprint almost anything from that. You're good there. And just start focusing on, some of the more classic stuff that needs to be why have we not gotten a Hitman on this? That's an easy sell for a lot of people.
Grant Morrison's JLA, what is it? Is it 4 hardcovers, and one of them is a couple of them are really hard to find.
John Byrne's Superman run. That's an easy one. Everybody loves John Byrne's Superman run, even though despite the fact John Byrne might be an old racist right now, but his classic Superman run his Man of Steel stuff is fantastic. Why have we not gotten an omnibus collection of John Byrne's Superman right now?
Yeah, and then they're putting out all these weird items that don't make sense. Again, that Flashpoint Absolute was completely unnecessary.
Yeah, these things are really random. There is not a coherent strategy.
Here's a real quick. I'm going to put in the chat. I'm actually under the OmniBros account. A link to this really good survey poll that Ryley came up with. That is basically, is it the top 100? It's the most requested top 50 most wanted DC omnibuses. And this is a fantastic list that we can actually kind of rattle off a little bit if you guys want. But these shows what they probably should be leaning towards in their ideas of any future reproductions or omnibus collections. Because these are things that people want. There's a poll on it. It's not the Silver Age, Golden Age stuff, which is it's great if you're into that kind of stuff. But I don't know if that's been the killer that's caused any of these problems. But apparently they're putting out stuff that is not getting ordered well enough to continue, and that's when these cancellations are happening. So that's why I'm worried about the Detective Comics omnibus. I'm not sure if that showed up on the FOC or not. I could look it up. But
Oh, sorry, Gabe. Well, what do you think about the idea of? And this just kind of came to my head. You put a lot of the Golden Age, Silver Age DC stuff on the DC streaming service. Like, here's X amount of Batman comics from the Golden Age in chronological order from this streaming service, rather than dumping your money into Golden Age and Silver Age omnibuses, which there are the collectors out there that will buy them, like Jess and things like that. But I don't see there being a huge market for that Golden Age and Silver Age stuff, when I think it would suit them better to put it on their own streaming service.
Yeah, you can put it on there. I think maybe like oversized trade paperbacks would have been better for that as well, because of the price point, to produce it, price point for the consumer to buy it. But yeah, I think that stuff, people want to read it out of curiosity, but then you kind of realize that stuff's a little hard to read for like today's generation, or even like my generation, or us here on this panel besides Jess. Reading that stuff a little hard to kind of to get into. I'm sorry, Jess. Peace and love, but Silver Age DC is super crazy, out of control, wacky, hard to understand.
I totally get it.
All nostalgia based stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, you don't need to read Batman from Detective Comics 27 to understand what's going on today.
No, but I will say that those releases showed at least some kind of thought process behind them. We're gonna start from the beginning and put out Doom Patrol, Legion of Superheroes, Silver Age Supergirl, and they had matching covers, they had matching spines, Wonder Woman, Batman, Superman,
Flash.
They had already, they redid the covers for Flash and Green Lantern, and there did seem to be some kind of strategy there, at least, for the older stuff.
Yeah.
And it would make me really sad if they put all that time and energy into the older stuff, and that's what's sinking the whole thing. That's what's dragging it down, because of course that's the stuff I as much as I want Snyder's Batman in oversized hardcover, besides Absolute Court of Owls and then nothing, I am anxiously awaiting Silver and Bronze Age Batman to get that Neil Adams art retouched, and that's what I really want, is the stuff from 68 to 72 of Batman,
without the Neil Adams coloring,
without the Neil Adams retouching and coloring it and stuff. That's what and so it's going to make me sad if all of a sudden they just stop now because of these problems they're having, and we end up just stopping in the Golden Age, where they are. That's also, for a completist, that's a massive amount of books to have to own if you are going to attempt to own those. Before they even got to 1968, I bet there'd probably be 15 volumes, because I don't think they're out of the 40s yet with Batman.
Yeah, that's a huge undertaking. Like you said, I hope they do the Neil Adams, like Denny O'Neil stuff. That stuff would be great. I would pick that stuff up. That stuff's classic. Yeah, that stuff is like that's one of the turning points in comics, especially when it comes down to like social issues and stuff like that. That's the stuff that really, once they, damn it, I forgot the guy's name, but the editor-in-chief of DC at the time, when he kind of revamped Flash and revamped Green Lantern and stuff like that, that was a good turning point in comics history. And then you got
when at what time period?
Like the early 60s stuff.
Was that Julius Schwartz?
There you go. That's it. I can't think of the guy's name. Shout out to him. He's the one that redesigned and re-ID'd Green Lantern and Flash and made them cool. It's Barry Allen. Barry Allen's not a cool Flash, but still.
Oh my God, I'm signing you off right now. Muting the chat.
Yeah, I mean, especially somebody like you who's been collecting all of it. Anybody who's been collecting all of it, for that to just cut off would be shocking.
Well, I mean, the thing is, also their timing for releasing these things, like Marvel, I'll give them this. They're actually really good with releasing not only collected editions and but they're single issues as well, timing it perfectly to coincide with a new movie that's coming out. Why is there not a Shazam collected edition coming out when the movie is like 2 months away? Why is there? I understand some of those old issues have racial, some of those old comic issues have racial problems inside of them. I'm totally against censoring them, but for the general market, fine. Strip out the few issues that have that. Why is there not a collected edition of that coming out? That's a given. The movie's coming out. It's got a good amount of buzz going around it right now. And we've got Jeff Johns that he put out a Shazam issue. What was the last time? In December, rather than putting it out closer to the release to coincide with the. I don't get their publishing schedule either. With Marvel, it's pretty solid. Okay, Black Panther's coming out. We're gonna launch a new Black Panther issue #1. It's got Coates' name on it. You know, it's got a lot of hype behind it, and it's pretty close to the release. I just don't understand what they're thinking publishing-wise.
I will say DC's Rebirth line has been more consistent with the oversized hardcovers coming out. Still no, I don't understand why Superman the Exile gets an omnibus, and like as you said, Luis, Man of Steel hasn't gotten an omnibus. There's certainly, I don't know. I guess we always compare stuff to Marvel because they seem to release. They seem to be more reader and collector friendly with their releases as far as oversized hardcovers and omnibuses go. But at least DC's had some consistency releasing Rebirth stuff in oversized hardcovers, which has been nice.
They've been pumping those out pretty quickly too.
Yeah.
So another example that I'm gonna. When did Aquaman come out by Kelly Sue? When did that drop around the same time that the movie came out?
Yes.
Okay, so it did. Okay, good. The problem is it's Kelly Sue, and yes, no. Okay, I dogpile.
Backhanded compliment there. Jeez, Luis.
No. I dogpile on her because I think her writing is shit. But you know, let's move away from that. But she's not a name that generates enough buzz for a lot of people to go, "Oh shit, I have to pick up Kelly Sue DeConnick's new Aquaman." That's not a name. Now, if you say Aquaman is coming back with Jeff Johns, oh shit, Jeff Johns coming back to write Aquaman. That's a name that I'll come back to. Even hell, G. Willow Wilson coming back to write Aquaman. Gail Simone coming back to write Aquaman. Get writers people are actually interested in around the time that the movie's coming out that people actually want to read their stories.
And as if anybody out there is wondering, this has made me rethink my strategy as far as upgrading now. I'm definitely not taking, I mean, I'm going to Second and Charles tomorrow and taking several boxes of things to sell. I'm holding back Black Mirror, and I'm not selling my Swamp Thing standard size hardcovers because now I just don't know.
I think Swamp Thing is safe because that's already been FOC'd.
Okay, that's
There's
interesting.
Already been final orders on that. That's just my speculation. That's where I'm basing this all around. I think it's all being based around retailer orders.
Well, that's good. That's good to know your perspective then.
But at the same time, I think you're right. A lot of people got burnt by the cancellation of that Hush omnibus. A lot of people sold their Absolute, which they're crazy for doing that. But yeah, a lot of people sold the Absolutes and waiting for the upgrade. Hell, I was trying to sell my Burnside Batgirl hardcover. I put it on the group, and then like the next day it was canceled. The omnibus was canceled. So right now, yeah, it's not. Our best advice, I would say, is hold on to your books until you see that book is been released. Don't try to upgrade right now. I know everybody wants to upgrade. Sell those books quickly. Use that money for the next upgraded version so that you can get the most money you can out of it. But I would definitely recommend waiting before you sell anything like that. That's part of an upgrade thought. Yeah,
I sold my Authority Absolutes on eBay because the new ones have been solicited that were very much more complete. Whereas the old Wildstorm ones were incomplete. But now I mean, I don't know. I should check Amazon and see if it's still up. the Authority Omni. It's an Omni and a couple of I'm blowing it here.
The Absolute.
Absolute, yeah.
You know what? Let me check. I'll check Diamond.
Oh, okay, good.
I can also check for, like I said, the FOC dates on these things to make sure that just to kind of touch on my speculation a little bit.
Yeah. Authority Absolute. It does still have. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, they're both getting released the same day. Volume 1 and Volume 2 of the Absolutes. Oh, that's supposed to be this week. Wait a minute. And
really? It's coming out this week?
That's from... Wait a second. Something's not right here. New edition. Free free delivery. Okay, I'm not reading this properly.
All right.
No, you know what? I don't see. I thought there were new ones being solicited.
Yeah, the only thing I see in Diamond, I don't see an omnibus. I see just the Absolutes.
The current ones?
Right. The ones that were released like 2017, 2018.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I was under the misconception that there was going to be an omnibus released. And I was going to get that from a price point standpoint instead of the Absolutes.
So
Okay.
that Detective Comics before Batman Omnibus, it was a two volume hardcover in a slipcase.
Mm-hmm.
So that got canceled. I remember that got canceled right after the FOC. March 20th was the original release date for that. So we would be getting that next week.
Oh, wow.
The week after next. But I can't see the other detective. The Tony Daniel one. God, I hope that doesn't get canceled. That'd be terrible.
I understand why that pre-Batman detective got canceled. That is really... That was...
that's a deep cut. That's
yeah.
You have to be a super fan for something like that.
Yeah, I consider myself a super fan of DC stuff, and that didn't even interest me.
That was a $150 book.
Yeah.
Cover price.
Okay, Joe Chip is saying Authority Omnibus is being released on August 6th. Worlds in Ink shows August 9th. Okay. So that hasn't been canceled yet. Okay, August 6th. Okay, so that hasn't been canceled yet. And I have some checking to do then. But okay, so the Absolutes have already been Authority Omnibus. Let's see if it has what. The Authority Omnibus. Yeah, August 6th. And is it going to have... Okay, so that looks like it's going to have a little more than what the Absolutes have. So I'm going to be interested in that. But either way, I don't regret selling the Wildstorm ones because they were incomplete.
Okay, so this is just purely speculation right now as I go through some of the stuff on Diamond. The FOC for the Batman Eternal Omnibus was the 4th. And it's giving me like weird information. Like none of the information on here makes sense. So it's pure speculation. That might be getting canceled.
Batman Eternal?
Yeah.
That was the weekly one that Snyder did, right?
Exactly, yeah. I might be wrong, but just the way the information shows on here, it's not normal information they usually show, there might be a problem with that.
All right. Thank you to the chat for helping me out with authority. I appreciate that. So it's still up. So I will not get the absolutes. I still want the omnibus because I think it has more content, which is what I did for planetary.
Grant Morrison Omnibus Volume 2. That's supposed to be in June. I think we're safe on that. We're way past the FOC date on that.
This is Batman?
Yeah, the Batman Grant Morrison Volume 2.
Yeah. How about Swamp Thing? Anything you can find out on that?
Let's see.
What are we looking for?
The Swamp Thing absolute. See if there's any information.
Yeah, checking to see if there's any info on Swamp Thing.
No, everything looks good on that. I think we're still going to be getting that.
So Swamp Thing is good, right? Alan Moore's run.
For as far as when I'm basing things on, I think it's okay.
Okay. Well, fuck. You know how many people will be pissed off if they cancel that run?
Oh, I know. But Gabe is saying that it looks like it's safe.
Because it's final order cutoff, right? They've done it?
Yeah, it's already been final order cutoff. It was a couple of weeks ago.
What's the release date on that?
I'm trying to find the release date information. It's not giving it to me.
Have they ever canceled a book on an FOC?
Usually, well, my idea is that they're basing numbers on the FOC as to whether it's still like a good idea to keep it going.
Oh, okay.
Just to address Thomas Judge's point in the chat, I agree, but it's also a price point issue that the omnibus is cheaper than the two absolutes. So that's a consideration too.
They cancel the Swamp Thing omnibus, we storm.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that'd be killer if they canceled it. But like I said, I think it's too late. I think they're already in production of that.
They must be. Comes out in July. Yeah, they've already got to have something going on. Do we have well, now we don't even know. We kind of have a map as to what's coming out the rest of the year. We're good up until what, July, June? As far as catalogs and releases and stuff?
Yeah, the latest the latest previews came out this week. And I think that's for stuff that's coming out in May.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what absolutes or omnibuses were solicited in that. So I think anything that's not anything newer that's been like solicited, I think is the stuff that we have to worry about.
No.
Anything that's been solicited within the last like 3 months, I would say.
Now, do we know if anybody's lost their job yet in this shakeup?
Yeah, no, don't know.
Yeah, because that would be key of like, oh, if somebody's losing a job, then we're like, oh man, they are really restructuring this.
Yeah, they're definitely restructuring, their publishing plans for these collector editions. So that's definitely a fact.
Travis Gilmer has a good point in the chat. It's a good idea to add these books to your IST wish list, as I'm sure that factors into how much they order initially. That is definitely true. That's what they base their orders on. Mm-hmm. I think that's what Cameron told us.
Yes, why don't you tell them about IST for a quick second? Because it's been a while.
Okay. InStockTrades.com, also known as IST, where you can get your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. Actually, they're in the middle of a DC sale right now where you get an extra 3% on DC material. Over $50 in an order gets you free shipping in the United States. Fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com.
Just it must be black magic how they pull it off.
I do not know how they do it.
Do you think Punisher War Machine will get a hardcover treatment? And NFL Dude is saying DC had layoffs in the collected edition department.
Yeah, they did, but that's not something I want to discuss. That's not fair to discuss these guys' jobs. And as we complain about not being able to buy books, and they probably can't buy food or pay rent.
Right. Okay, we don't have to talk about that part. Comic Book Wire has Omnis through October for DC. I'm not familiar with Comic Book Wire.
Did you guys want to go through this list that Ryley came up with? A little bit or no?
Yeah, sure. There's a bunch of questions in the chat. They monitor the IST wish lists not for production, but IST monitors it for how many IST will initially order to have in the warehouse.
Right. That wish list, they even said it more or less helps them with their ordering number. So that helps with their FOC ordering.
Right. So that's why they like to get a. So now there is a Comic Book Wire link in the chat so we can check it out.
Yeah.
But,
so basically, if any of these books come out or are solicited that you guys want, if you don't have like IST or if you support your local like comic book store, you need to go and pre-order that stuff immediately because that will help them with their ordering, and those ordering numbers, from what I feel, is what's going to make or break whether a book comes out or not right now through DC.
Yeah, this is a dicey time from a collector standpoint. I totally don't want to minimize the fact that people have been hurt at DC. That's obviously the more important point, but we do talk about comic books here, so that's what we will focus on. So it's really a lot of speculation on our part because we're just not sure. I mean, I was shocked that Hush got canceled. That was a book that a lot of people were looking forward to.
Yeah, and it's a heavy Batman book. It's a Batman book. It's a Jim Lee book. It's a Paul Dini book.
Right.
I mean, that checks a lot of boxes of top selling stuff
for a lot of people.
Matt Miranda, real quick, he wanted to know if the new Teen Titans omnibuses are still good. Volume 4, that was FOC back in November. That's coming out May 1st. So I think we're okay with that. Well, does that mean if we're going to get a volume 5 or not? We'll have to wait and see.
Probably not. Who knows?
I mean, here it is. If you want volume 5 or if you want the next volume of whatever omnibus is coming out, buy that current volume of the omnibus.
Wow.
It's going to be based on the sales of this next book that comes out. Whatever volume it is for that series will determine what's coming out further along. Because DC is really tightening the belt. So they have to, it's going to be the bean counters that's going to determine if these books are going to make it out or not. And they're definitely going to be basing that on direct market sales.
Yeah.
What did you want to talk about regarding Ryley's most wanted omnis?
I don't know. Did you want to just kind of, I was thinking maybe we could just go through it a little bit and say, hey, here's the books that people want. These are the ones that probably should be getting put out.
Did he finished the poll, right? He does it every year.
Yeah, he finished the poll.
Yeah, I think he sent it to us, right?
I haven't actually have it up and ready to go.
Oh, okay.
Okay, nice. So I haven't seen the results. I'm gonna take a shot in the dark. Number 1, John Byrne Omnibus by Man of Steel.
That's correct.
I knew it.
Give me a sec. I'll put the link in the chat. I don't know if I already did or not, but I'll do it again so everybody can follow along, and then I'll screen share it too. We'll just do this real quick. We'll We don't need to go through all 50, but probably at least the top 10, top 20 if you want real fast.
Yeah.
This is kind of show like here's what will definitely, based on this poll, which is the poll of the collectors out there, that will sell. All right, so here's the top one. Yeah, Luis, you're absolutely correct. The number one pick for a DC Omnibus was John Byrne's Man of Steel.
Ooh.
Jess,
you want to take a guess at number 2 before he scrolls down?
Number 2. Let's see.
I'm gonna say Danny O'Neill question.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Let's see what it is.
All right, so as we scroll down here, number 2 is Batman by Snyder and Capullo.
That makes sense.
Number 3 is Justice League by Grant Morrison. Number 4 is The Question by Danny O'Neill.
And that would contain the issue where the question goes out and tries to be Rorschach.
Well, the question is the
crap beaten out of him.
The Charleston character that Rorschach is based off of.
Yeah.
Right.
Number 5 is Justice League International Volume 2. And let's go down a little bit more to this next section. Number 6, Green Arrow by Mike Grell. Swamp Thing by Alan Moore. We're getting that. Flash by Mark Waid. We were going to get that, and that got turned into trade paperbacks. And number 9 is Starman by James Robinson. Ryley put the 15 through 20 somewhere else. 20 is Silver Age Aquaman. 21, Spectre by John Ostrander. Nightwing by Chuck Dixon. Jonah Hex by Graham Palmiotti. I would love that. That'd be great. Along with Batwoman by Greg Rucka and J.H. Williams III. Dark Knight's Metal. We've been told we're going to get that, but now that's the question.
Boy, I have a big question on that, since that came from Scott Snyder himself, but now I have to wonder.
Yeah. Justice League by Jeff Johns. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, since they reproduced that 52 run of Justice League in every single format imaginable, but none of it really matches. Paul Dini's Batman. I think that might have been a part of the Batman Hush omnibus that was canceled. Warlord by Mike Grell, pass. Power Shazam by Jerry Oldroyd. So these are kind of the ones that maybe DC should be focusing on, ones that are actually hit, that could possibly be evergreen titles as well.
Mm-hmm.
These are the kind of things that will probably always stay in print and will always sell. So there's that. And one more quick thing to kind of take a look. Brooks from the Omnibus group sent me over this chart. If you guys can see this graph. Here's a graph of DC's Omnibus releases from 2016 through 2018.
Wow.
And this graph really shows just the huge push that they put into these omnibuses just recently. So back in 2016, they had 13 omnibuses come out in 2016. In 2017, they had 28 new omnibuses come out and 2 reprints for a total of 30. And in 2018, they did even more with 32 new releases, 3 reprints for a total of 35 omnibus. And this has to be.
That's
I don't want to point the finger. Yeah, I don't want to point the finger, but this has to be that Golden Age, Silver Age, Bronze Age omnibuses. Because I mean, as I look at my shelf, I mean, I don't buy every DC omnibus that comes out. There's not a lot, and at least not the ones that I buy, which would be more like the 80s, 90s current stuff. So it has to be a lot of that Silver Age, Bronze Age, Golden Age buses there.
Right.
I think that's about the time when they started really producing those things heavily. And another thing, these things don't sell out. DC omnibuses don't really sell out. There's not many DC whales out there.
That's a really good point.
Like, a collector perspective.
It used to be Infinite Crisis for the longest time, and Death and Return of Superman.
Yep, and those got reprinted. That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and then they messed up. I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but they kind of messed up the Jack Kirby Fourth World Omnibus, and they had to go back and reprint those. And
that's a good point.
Those first prints got destroyed.
That I see that I need to get the Justice League of America Silver Age Omnibus Volume 2 from In Stock Trades because they're having their DC sale. I better get that.
Very cool. Do you have all those omnibus, the Silver Age, Golden Age stuff?
So far, yeah, but I'm wishy-washy on whether I'm going to continue or not, because as I said, the Batman Volume 6, that just takes them into the 40s at this point, the late 40s. So to get to the stuff that I want, that I feel like it'll be Volume 15, and that's just, I don't know that I can continue to get all those.
Matt Renner brings up a good point. We didn't touch on this at all. That Batman and Robin omnibus, the new 52 one,
the one by Tomasi,
that's been out of stock for a long time. Might even be out of print by now. But again, that's something that they might want to go back and do a print of, or a new run of. Yeah, it's been out of print for a while. Oh, not out of print, but backstock. It still shows backstock that Diamond's going to get more from DC, but that's been going on for a long time. And who knows? I mean, with these cutbacks on these collector editions getting canceled, whatever they have left of this might just get canceled. They might not even go back to print with this.
I have to admit something here, and I'm ashamed to admit it, but maybe, Gabe, you're better than I am at remembering this stuff. I did not write down the winners of the stuff that we gave away on Monday.
You mean all the winners? Or just
no,
like
the winners of the things that I'm supposed to send out. Do you have that written down, or should I just go back and watch the episode?
No, I have I took a screenshot to put it in the chat. That's what I have of it.
Oh, you did do that?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Okay. Because I have Earth X, Pharaoh Lad, and then the copy of the Archie 700. I need to send those out.
Damien Starr. That's Omar's book.
Right.
I think we still have the emails in our email though.
Okay, I'll check the email, and worst case, I'll go back and watch the episode.
Yeah, I still gotta send the stuff out too that I had. There's a lot of stuff I'm sending. I sold a couple things on the group, so I need to send that stuff out as well. So I'll be doing a lot of shipping tomorrow.
So, is there any other? We pretty much stretched our brains to their mental capacity on this issue. I think that we have given you not only our opinions, but our speculation and some facts based on Gabe's detective work. So what else can we talk about? Is there any other news?
Robert Pattinson might be Batman.
I would dig that.
I actually would. I totally am in for that.
I'm into it because because I just want to see the world burn. I just want to see everybody lose their mind over it.
I am totally down for that. Like, he gets a lot of shit for the Twilight stuff, rightfully so. But that fucker has been working his ass off in the indie scene, and he is a really good actor. Like, if you get a chance, watch came out last year, Good Time. He is fantastic in that movie.
What is the plot of that movie?
He's a vampire that falls in love with an underage girl.
He's doing a heist with his brother. It's kind of a dark comedy. He's doing a heist with his brother that goes completely wrong, and his brother gets captured and ends up in jail. Not in jail, in the hospital. And he's got like 24 hours to basically get his brother out of the hospital that he's arrested in. And it's just hilarity ensues. It's really dark comedy. It's a really good movie, though.
Good Time. Okay.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, that's
so here was
agreeing with you.
Yeah, everybody's talking about that. Good Time in the chat. Here's the news items I had was DC cancels more Omnibus that we spent the entire show talking about. That was a great discussion. Why the Last Man? The Why the Last Man series gets a full order from FX, so that's coming to TV soon.
I am so excited for that.
And Legion gets canceled after season 3.
But I think was it canceled, or did he plan it for 3 seasons? Do we know?
I don't know, but my speculation is since Fox no longer has any rights to mutants and X-Men stuff anymore, it was going to die either way.
Yeah, they were going to give it the boot either way. I still need to watch season 2.
Oh my gosh!
I haven't watched any of Legion. I think I watched the first episode, and that was it.
Oh yeah, the Invincible, the voice cast was announced, and holy shit, what a voice cast! Did you see that?
I think I did see that. I saw somebody mention it.
And then Tony Moore's Motor Girl is being developed at Hulu.
Oh, Terry Moore.
Whatever. Tony Moore, Terry Moore. It's
Terry Rorschach.
just random white guy. That's fine.
I always get Tony Moore and Terry Moore mixed up.
Yeah.
Wait, who's Tony Moore?
The artist of Walking Dead.
Oh, okay.
I think he's Riley's dad or uncle or something. Dude, I can't wait to see Why the Last Man. I hope they do that series justice.
Oh, same. Absolutely.
I mean, it's FX, and FX used to be like that, your edgy channel back in like the early 2000s. And then they came out with FXX, which was like their, again, edgy component. Because that's where they used to put the League. I loved the League. The League was great.
The League was so good.
What's the League about?
Football. You would love it. It's about fantasy football and these guys fucking each other over. It's like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh.
You would love it, Jess. You would love the League.
Oh, okay.
It's hilarious.
Yeah, it's great. There's so much good stuff in it. I don't even care about football. I know nothing about football and nothing about fantasy league football or anything like that. But that show is hilarious and absolutely amazing. It's not all about it's about a group of friends who are all assholes to each other and how they fuck each other over based around, their picks for the football season.
Nice.
So there's a little bit of in the know football lingo and stuff like that, but not enough that it turned me off or anything.
I love Taco.
Taco's the best.
There was
the League.
I wanted to talk about. Oh, okay. So can we officially put a fucking nail in Walking Dead? Can we put a nail in this show already? Because they just lost, outside of Norman Reedus, they just lost their biggest star.
And who is that?
The actress that plays Michonne. Dani Gurriera. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, but she is leaving the show after this season, and I am not surprised because she's doing Black Panther. She's doing a whole bunch of
Avengers.
Yeah, she is way too good for that show, and I'm so happy she's leaving.
Well, she's definitely bigger than that show is now. The show's been really shrunk down popularity wise for a while. But yeah, she is huge now because of her role in Black Panther.
What was she in Black Panther?
She was the lead menage lady.
Yeah.
The Black Panther's female bodyguards.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
She pilots the ship at the beginning of the movie.
Okay.
Yeah. She has signed a new deal to appear in a more limited capacity. So basically the same deal that they're doing with the actor that played Rick Grimes, where I guess she's just going to show up in like a movie for AMC. But let's put a nail in this. Can we please? Like, the show is pretty much dead. Can we?
The Walking Dead is The Walking Dead.
I thought it's been dead to me for a while. I haven't watched that show in probably like 4 seasons.
It's pretty soon just going to be Ride Through the Apocalypse with Norman Reedus. That's what the show is basically going to be. It's going to be him on his motorcycle riding through the apocalypse.
It's going to be just redneck meth addict and zombies.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're putting a nail in the coffin then. Right here, we're the ones saying it, right?
Oh, but the show's been done a while, and now they're just the ratings keep dropping, and they refuse to, like the comic, they refuse to end it.
Another thing that refuses to end is The Simpsons, which I read an article that said it's going to be on for at least 2 more seasons, which means Ryley has 2 more seasons of punishment ahead of him.
I think they said something like that would push it past episode 700.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, Supernatural just hit 300 episodes the other day.
I think Supernatural is this decade's version of romance novels.
Yeah, I agree. But their audience they have a dedicated audience, man.
Dude, there's a convention out here in Vegas, and man, it's crazy over that.
Yeah, they have a diehard fucking 13 seasons and 300 episodes, and it has no end in sight. They just got renewed for I think another 2 seasons, 1 season, and it has no end in sight, and they just keep cranking them out.
I remember I saw the pilot episode at San Diego Comic-Con like years ago.
Yeah.
And it was in this tiny room. I think I just went in there because there was a bigger, more important panel I wanted to see that was after it. Or I just needed somewhere to just kind of sit and rest for a little bit. And I went in there and saw the pilot episode. I go, oh, this is really cool. I didn't think 13 seasons later, 300 episodes later, it'd still be around.
These guys definitely have an opinion on the Walking Dead books, Chris Davis. I know Luis has an opinion anyway. I haven't read them, but Luis has an opinion.
Stop reading it after the prison.
48 issues.
Yeah.
No, the first 48?
50. No, 50, 52 issues, because that's where that wrap-up happens for that arc. You are good after the first 52 issues, 53 issues, I want to say, and then it meanders for a while, and then Negan shows up, and that spices things up for a bit with the all-out war stuff, and then it just falls off a cliff.
It's about that point where I started realizing the formula, and I just got bored because it was very redundant, formulaic.
Oh, Kirkman totally has a formula with this series, and people are starting to realize it in the show too, where they find a place gets ruined, they meet a big bad fucks things up, rinse and repeat. It's a total formula, and I just got tired of that, and I got tired of Kirkman's bipolar characters where they swing from one side to the other real quick in terms of their personality, and I'm like, okay, you obviously don't know how to transition characters from one emotion to the next. They're either happy or they're yelling at each other, fucking pissed off.
Clint Gilbert says they are great, then meh, then great, then dumpster fire.
That's about right. Yeah, no, he's right. He nails it on the head. Look, the first 48 issues of Walking Dead are fucking great. They really are. And they are captivating, and they are some of the best horror comics you could read. There's a reason why the series was what it was. And then Kirkman just starts spinning his wheels, and it fell off a cliff. And then it picked back up a little bit during the all-out war, and then it fell off another cliff. And it hasn't come back from that cliff.
There's this image on the internet. It's a graph of every episode of Walking Dead, and it's like great introduction, usually about something that happens just before or after the outbreak. Then nothing happens, which is this huge part of the graph. Somebody does something incredibly stupid. Holy shit, zombies! Why do I continue watching this show? Crazy ass cliffhanger at the end.
Well, I think the show could benefit from just like the Netflix stuff, a shorter season. You do 8-episode, 10-episode seasons. It's more tight. You get more in there rather than splitting it out into 16-episode, 18-episode seasons where you have to stretch the plot so much.
Yeah, I mean, dude, when that thing hit on Halloween Day, what was it, like 2015, 2014?
Yeah.
It was a cultural phenomenon. I mean, not just a TV show, but that's one of the few comics that has really grown its sales. I mean, even with all the hit movies now that we get with Marvel and Iron Man and the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy, the comic book sales are still trash.
Yeah.
But Walking Dead has continued to grow its sales markets, continue to grow the sales of their trade paperbacks and like their slipcases. And I mean, it was a cultural phenomenon. I mean, that's the only time I've ever seen from all the years I've worked in comic book stores that something generated an influx of people to buy more comic books. Was The Walking Dead.
Hey, Gabe, do you guys still get a lot of people that buy the collected editions at your store?
Yeah. Right now, it's mainly people who've been in it for a while and are buying the newest volume.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't like before, like 5-6 years ago, where people would buy like every volume that came out. Like everybody would go back from number 1 and start again and just keep reading it and come back for number 2 and then come back for number 3. I think Walking Dead probably saved a lot of comic book stores back in that time, but I'm not seeing that anymore.
You couldn't keep them on the shelves.
Yeah, it was really hard to back then.
Mm-hmm. Do you think so? What do you think would have that potential within the next few years if they come out with a series right now? Let's say they take any random comic series right now, and do you think there's anything that has that potential to be that big?
I would say it would have to be like a Image, like indie kind of book, because Marvel and DC stuff is just too embedded in continuity, and it's not like one single storyline. Invincible, I would hope that would happen too.
Mm-hmm.
I know Transmetropolitan, I think that would happen.
Why has that potential?
Oh yeah, maybe why. But again, it depends, because the thing with Walking Dead is people just wanted to know what happened next. So they wanted to cheat the system and read the books. Same with like Game of Thrones. I'm not sure if there's something out there that you would have to end on like super crazy cliffhangers and have really compelling characters to do that. And there's a lot out there in the comic book world, but can I get transitioned into TVs or movies? Mm-hmm. That's the hard part. That's the $1 million formula missing piece right there.
You know, I think, and I'm glad Chris Davis actually just mentioned this in the chat. I think American Vampire, if they do it right, could be a hit. Because these things usually cycle, and vampires haven't been like, since the Twilight years, haven't been a huge thing. I think it could be a hit if they do it right. Each season is a different time period.
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, there's a lot out there, but it's just, you have to be able to kind of hook the general audience in such a way that makes them want to go find the books to find out what happens next. Yeah. And why is a good example of that? Because you want to know what caused that outbreak. You know, it's similar to, Walking Dead. What caused the outbreak?
Saga would be so big on budget, though.
Yeah.
I don't know how that you would waste so much money on. You're talking like Game of Thrones level budget for something like Saga.
But here's the thing. What in comics is like that? Because Walking Dead in comics was like that for a long time, where you had to get the next issue. Even today, it's still an unspoken rule that you can't talk about the spoilers in an issue of Walking Dead. There's not much like that now in the comic book world. So if you found something like that, then that would be your hit TV show that would cause more sales for the comics as well.
Yeah. I don't think there really is anything like that. I mean, Saga was that a few years ago, but at the moment, I can't think of anything current that's like that.
I mean, because honestly, quite frankly, a lot of this stuff in comics, it takes forever for anything to happen. You have to wait 6, 8, 12 issues for any like reveals or
Mm.
or big kind of turning points or key moments. With Walking Dead back in the day, every issue there was something big going on that brought you into the next issue. It wasn't even just people dying or being killed or murdered. A lot of it was just like a compelling storyline for the first 50 issues.
Joe Cool, let me answer your question. Is the Dark Tower series by Marvel a good read? Has anybody read that?
Never touched it.
Never read it, although I think I've heard that like the first few volumes are more of a companion piece to the books.
And
I'm not sure.
okay, I haven't read it. Also, which Star Wars comic do you recommend to start reading? The Star Wars Kieran Gillen Darth Vader, and then read Dr. Aphra. That's my suggestion.
Vader stuff is
love Kieran Gillen's Darth Vader.
the Vader stuff is real good.
Yeah.
Well, we're getting a Jason Aaron Star Wars omnibus pretty soon.
Yeah, that's what Clint Gilbert's saying, that it's out in March. I haven't read that, so I don't know. But
I don't like Star
Jason
Wars,
Aaron. Yeah, you're not a fan of Star Wars. And I'm a big fan of Star Wars and a big fan of Jason Aaron, so I imagine it's really good.
You know what me and you are a big fan of, Jess? I think would be a hit TV show.
What is that?
Comics. Irredeemable.
That would be great.
That's another book. That's one of the only ones I could think of right now. As I look over at my collection real quick, that every issue was a cliffhanger. Yeah. It didn't draw people into comic book stores because it was Boom, so nobody really cared about a Boom title because Boom was mainly like a children's comic publisher at the time. But that, like, when you read it, it compels you. It's hard to put that book down.
I agree, 100%.
Since we're kind of just talking about comics, I have read Gideon Falls. I'm all caught up.
How many issues is that?
10 issues.
10?
Yes. It's so good.
And that's Lemire?
Yes, it's so fucking
good.
Oh, Gideon Falls is so good. It's really fucking good, man. I am hooked on it.
That's an Image series?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
It's really good. Okay, so Gideon Falls centers around a bunch of people in this small town called Gideon Falls, and in this town, these people have been seeing. There's a select group of people that have been seeing this thing called the Black Barn.
The Black what?
The Black Barn.
The Black Barn? Is that where all the hockey players are? It's hard to explain. So with the Black Barn, it's kind of like this hallucination, and it's driving certain people mad. And then there's this cult of people, and it's basically if you took certain elements of True Detective and you mix it in with like horror and it's really good. And it's probably one of the best things that Jeff Lemire is writing right now, on top of Black Hammer and like all the other stuff that's going on right now. But it involves this guy who he is seeing a therapist. He's one of the characters, and he is obsessed with finding the pieces of the door for the Black Barn. And he's going around town, he's digging through the trash and things like that. And eventually his therapist starts seeing the Black Barn herself. And she ends up helping him trying to put the door for the Black Barn together. And then alongside of that, there's also the priest, who he is seeing the Black Barn. And the priest of this town has just come in after the previous priest, God, I'm trying to remember, I think he was murdered. And then it leads into all these things involving the occult. And it's one of the best things that Jeff Lemire is putting out. It's so good. Wow, you sold me.
It is so good, Jess. You really need to pick this up and read it. Did you like Fatale?
Yeah, I loved it.
You will love this.
I love the occult, so.
Yeah, Psycho Cleveland nails it. Gideon Falls is Lemire's Twin Peak and True Detective. And I'm not spoiling. I haven't been spoiled shit. There's so much going on in that book. It's really
Gideon Falls?
Yeah, it's Outcast, but it's actually really good.
I love how you have to like shit on Outcast to talk about how good Gideon Falls is. You know, Outcast, that other book that Robert Kirkman can't write shit for.
No, it's his version of Outcast, but it's actually really good.
Awesome. I will check that.
Oh,
I gotta order Justice League for that DC sale is up at InStockTrades.com.
InStockTrade.com.
All right, you guys want to do some questions, or we're about an hour and a half into this?
Yeah, you want to do 5 minutes of questions?
Yeah,
and then we can wrap.
I need some pancakes. I've been craving pancakes so hard lately that I'm gonna have a cheat meal today, and I'm gonna get some pancakes for breakfast.
I got ribs.
I haven't eaten anything bad since before New Year's, so today's gonna be that day, or at least for breakfast. That'll be it.
Good for you, man.
I think the answer is no. Dirty hot dog waterful. Did Gabe pre-order the Aquaman Blu-ray yet?
That's definitely a no. I would rather buy 15 copies of Predator than one copy of Aquaman.
Silly name.
I am going to pre-order. I have connections at Best Buy. I'm going to use my connections because I want to get that steelbook for Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh, that'd be cool. Let's see. Silly name. Send your real name to omnibroslive@gmail.com, and I'll check it out and see if I can accept you into the group. Chris Davis has a really good question. I'm not sure about the answer to this. Although I feel like we came up with a list of whales recently. Best place to research out-of-print books, so I don't have to message Gabe on a Friday from the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, there's really no like place to research this. Like me, you, any of us on the panel, we all kind of just know this stuff by memory, like on what's basically out of print and what's really expensive right now. Maybe we should come up with a list. Well, we did a video on it, I thought. But maybe we should come up with a physical list. We should get a website where we could just do articles. That's
a great idea, actually, because I think what we came up with was Omnis. I don't think we came up with stuff like Red Lanterns 4 and Irredeemable 5. We just came up with a list of Omnis that were whales.
Right. We could do a website easy. And then we could also make that like audio podcast as well, instead of making this like a video podcast on iTunes.
Let's see. Clint Gilbert says collectededitions.com has a whole roster of Omnis and what is and isn't in stock. But I like the idea of OmniBros, and we keep an updated list of what's out of print.
Yeah, we can do the whole spectrum. I mean, even like, let's say Epic collections too, because a lot of those have been going out of print and going for crazy money too.
Yeah, you're right about that. I've just been tuned into that recently, how many Epic collections are out of print.
All right, we'll talk about that in the chat with one another. That's a good idea.
Okay.
We could do other articles as well, I guess. You know, like
we could do reviews, like written reviews.
Yeah. We could even have maybe like other people in the community do reviews or articles too or something.
Yeah. Yeah, and we could put what the books are currently going for, ballpark, Amazon and eBay.
Yeah. eBay. Amazon's a stupid resource for what something's going for. Sorry, Ryley. He was using Amazon that whole time during that whales discussion.
Oh, he was?
Yeah. Yeah, we can even do like, what websites, to keep an eye on to find these books. They pop up, things like that as well. Right. There's a lot of stuff. There's potential. There's potential.
I gotta get out of here.
Okay. We've done this an hour and a half. So instocktrades.com.
Yeah.
The place to go for your collected editions up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts add 2% to that. They're having a DC sale this weekend that I have to take advantage of to get my Justice League of America Volume 2. Over $50 in the United States gets you free shipping, fabulous customer service, fabulous packaging. That's InStockTrades.com. Luis, where can they find you on the internet?
Comic Book Guide 101. That's where you can find me on Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff.
And Gabe, how about you?
Find me on YouTube, Instagram as Gabe Infinity Watch, and you can find me in the Omnibus Collectors Facebook group, posting sarcastic GIFs on everybody's listings.
That's right. And you can find me at rawshark.com.
Hey.
You can find me, Omnidog, at Omnidog's Vault on YouTube and Omnidogs_Vault on Instagram. So we will be back tomorrow night talking about new releases and hauls and reads. Thank you for tuning in. The chat was great today. Appreciate everybody that watches us. Peace and love. Peace and love.
Next week is actually the first time in a while that a book is coming out that I want.
What book is that?
I think Mr. Miracle comes out this week.
Oh.
No, Rorschach isn't my porn name. My porn name is Dick Sprang.
Good night, everybody.
Okay, peace and love.